Lucas Davenport had never heard of Ashmore House until the reading of his uncle's will. Located in the remote village of Harlow, the house was an unexpected inheritance and a complete mystery to him. His uncle, Arnold Davies, had never spoken of the place, nor had Lucas ever visited it during his childhood holidays. The solicitor handed him a yellowing envelope containing a key and a letter. Dear Lucas, Ashmore House has been in our family for generations. It is now your responsibility. A word of caution. The house carries with it burdens not easily dismissed. Tread carefully, for the past does not rest. Arnold Davies. Intrigued and compelled by a sense of familial duty, Lucas decided to spend a few days at Ashmore House to assess its condition and decide its future. He packed his bags and set off for the village, driving through mist-laden countryside roads that seemed to grow narrower and more oppressive as he neared his destination. The house appeared suddenly at the end of a dirt path, as though summoned from the very earth. Its Gothic structure was intimidating, with tall, narrow windows and gabled roofs, all cloaked in ivy and shadow. He parked his car and approached the front door, the key heavy in his hand. As the door creaked open, a sense of unease washed over him. The air inside was cold and stale, filled with a musty odor that hinted at long abandonment. Dust motes danced in the weak sunlight filtering through the grimy windows. Lucas set his bags down in the foyer, already regretting his decision. After a brief tour of the ground floor, consisting of a drawing room, dining room, and a spacious kitchen, Lucas decided to settle into one of the upstairs bedrooms. He chose one with a large four-poster bed and intricate wallpaper faded with age. Unpacking his things, he tried to ignore the unsettling creaks and groans of the old house. As night fell, Lucas lit a few candles and settled into bed with his laptop, hoping to find some distraction on a streaming service. The weak internet connection thwarted his plans, but exhaustion soon claimed him. He fell into a restless sleep, disturbed by nightmares of drowning in a sea of shadows. A loud thud startled him awake. Heart racing, Lucas sat up and strained to hear. Silence. Dismissing it as the house settling, he tried to go back to sleep. But then he heard it clearly. Footsteps, slow and deliberate, moving across the floor above him. The attic. He hesitated, his breath fogging in the cold air. It's just an old house, he whispered to himself, but the words offered little comfort. Grabbing a flashlight, he ventured out of his room and up the narrow staircase leading to the attic. The door was slightly ajar, and as he pushed it open, the beam of his flashlight cut through the darkness, revealing dust-covered furniture and forgotten relics. The air was thick with the smell of decay. Searching the room, he found nothing but silence and emptiness. Reluctantly, he returned to bed, though his sleep was anything but peaceful. The following day, Lucas explored more thoroughly. He discovered a library filled with old leather-bound books and faded portraits of stern-looking ancestors. One painting caught his eye, a young woman with piercing blue eyes and an enigmatic smile. The nameplate read, Eleanor Ashmore, 1875 to 1902. Suddenly, a cold breeze swept through the room, causing the pages of an open book on the desk to flutter. Lucas approached and saw that the book was a diary, the handwriting delicate and meticulous. It belonged to Eleanor. July 14th, 1901. The spirits grow restless. Mother forbids me from speaking of it, but I hear their whispers at night. They call to me from the darkness, their voices filled with sorrow and anger. I fear what they may ask of me. Before he could read further, he felt a presence behind him. Turning quickly, he saw nothing but the empty room. The temperature had dropped noticeably, and the shadows seemed to deepen. That night, the house was anything but quiet. The whispers began just past midnight, low and indistinguishable at first, but growing louder and more insistent. Lucas lay in bed, every muscle tense as the voices surrounded him. Eleanor, help us. He covered his ears, but the whispers seemed to penetrate his very mind. Desperate, he stumbled out of bed and followed the sound to the library. The portrait of Eleanor seemed to watch him as he entered. The whispers intensified, echoing off the walls. Filled with a mix of fear and determination, Lucas opened the diary again.